Hi, Cooper Glover 1972, back with another video. I believe we're at part 53. This is the second part of the Criterions that I have in my boxes. So let's get right into it. So here, first of all, we got Robinson Crusoe on Mars. I think I saw part of this, but I haven't looked at much of it, really. Special effects wonderkind and genre master Byron Haskin. The War of the Worlds, The Outer Limits, won a place in the hearts of fantasy film lovers everywhere with this gorgeously designed journey into the unknown. When a spaceship crash lands on the barren wastelands of Mars, U.S. astronaut commander Kit Draper, Paul Manty, must fight for survival, with a pet monkey seemingly his only companion. But is he alone? Shot in vast technoscope and blazing technicolor, Robinson Crusoe on Mars is an imaginative and beloved technique marvel of classic science fiction. It's got a audio commentary featuring screenwriter Ib Melchior, actors Paul Manty and Victor Lundia, production designer Alan Nazaki, Oscar-winning special effects designer and Robinson Crusoe on Mars historian Robert Skotek, and excerpts from a 1979 audio interview with director Byron Haskin, excerpts from Melchior's original screenplay, Destination Mars, a new video featurette by Michael Lennick, detailing the science and dreams behind Robinson Crusoe on Mars, new music video for Lundia's song Robinson Crusoe on Mars, stills gallery of behind-the-scenes photos, production designs, and promotional material, theatrical trailer, and a booklet featuring a new essay by filmmaker and space historian Michael Lennick, Melchior's brief Van Vergoian dictionary of original alien dialect, and a list of facts about Mars from his original screenplay. So, and of course you got the monkey right there. So, this is probably a real cheesy kind of movie, but should be interesting. And you got the DVD right here. So, there's really a lot of pictures here. Mostly text. It's basically all text. Just a little, just coloring around the text, but that's about it. This one's called Peeping Tom. It's Frank Explorate. Oh, let me show you that first. It's by Michael Powell. Or Frank Exploration of Voyeurism and Violence. Michael Powell's extraordinary film is the story of a psychopathic cameraman, his childhood trauma, sexual crisis, and murderous revenge as an adult, reviled by critics upon its initial release for its deeply unsettling subject matter. The film has since been hailed as a masterpiece. And it's got, audio essay by renowned film theorist Laura Mulvey, stills gallery of rare behind-the-scenes production photos, A Very British Psycho, directed by Chris Rodley, the Channel 4 UK documentary about the life of screenwriter Leo Marx, as well as the making and critical reception of Peeping Tom, original theatrical trailer. So, I believe this film made Michael Powell basically, I don't know if this film bankrupted him or I don't know if it ruined his career. I think it did ruin his career. Pretty sure on that. Anyways, my friend has looked at this. I think he liked it a lot, and I intend to look at it at some point. I watched the starting of it. It's kind of interesting. But I think this basically sunk his career. probably not fairly, but due to the time period it came out in and how people received things at the time, I guess that's the way they went on that. So that's Peeping Tom. This film was a bomb. It was, when it came out at the box office. I don't have the whole John Cassavetes box set, but this is one of them in that box set, I believe, Killing of a Chinese Bookie. John Cassavetes engages film noir in his own inimitable style with The Killing of a Chinese Bookie. Ben Gazzara brilliantly portrays Gentleman's Club owner Cosmo Vitelli, a man dedicated to pretenses of composure and self-possession. When he runs afoul of a group of gangsters, Cosmo is forced to commit a horrible crime in a last-ditch effort to save his beloved club and his way of life. Suspenseful, mesmerizing, and idiosyncratic, The Killing of a Chinese Bookie is a thought-provoking examination of desperation and masculine identity. And this, too, is a restored high-definition digital transfer to Cassavetes' 108-minute edit for the 1978 theatrical re-release. Video interviews with star Ben Gazzara and producer Al Rubin. Audio interview with Cassavetes by film historians Michael Chiment and Michael Wilson, conducted after the film's release. Michelle Chiment, who did a biography on Kubrick, which I've read. Stills gallery featuring rare behind-the-scenes production photos, and a booklet featuring an essay by Philip Lopate. So I thought this one was maybe I should. I didn't really. I only watched a portion of it. Didn't really make me that interested, but I don't know. Maybe I should give it another chance. But I know it bombed at the box office. That I know, I guess. Let's see. So there you have the disc. You got the booklet right here. I really should have the box set, but I don't. So I don't know if if I would buy the box set or not. I'm not sure. I've got other Criterions I want to buy. So I think Ben Gazzara passed away recently. And that's Killing of a Chinese Bookie. Then we got a film, was done on a very low budget. Kind of cheesy horror film, but Carnival of Souls. Herc Harvey's macabre masterpiece gained a cult following through the late-night television and has been bootlegged for years. Most made by industrial filmmakers on a modest budget, Carnival of Souls was intended to have the look of a Bergman and feel of a Cocteau, and succeeds with its strikingly used locations and spooky organ score. Mary Henry Candace Hilligoss survives a drag race in a rural Kansas town and takes a job as a church organist in Salt Lake City. En route, she becomes haunted by a bizarre apparition that compels her to an abandoned lakeside pavilion. Criterion is proud to present the ultimate special edition of this eerily effective B-movie classic that continues to inspire filmmakers today. It's got first disc has a original theatrical version, The Movie That Wouldn't Die, the story of the Carnival of Souls, a documentary on the 1989 reunion, the cast and crew, more than 45 minutes of rare outtakes accompanied by Gene Moore's organ score, theatrical trailer, illustrated history of this solitary resort in Salt Lake City, the Carnival Tour, a video update on the film's locations. Disc 2 has selected audio commentary by screenwriter John Clifford and late director Hark Harvey. The extended director's cut is Disc 2. 1 hour of excerpts from films made by the Centron Corporation, an industrial film company based in Lawrence, Kansas, that employed Harvey and Clifford for over 30 years. An essay on the history of Centron from Ken Smith's Mental Hygiene. Printed interviews with Harvey, Clifford, and star Candace Hilligoss, illustrated with vintage photos and memorabilia. And so I don't know if this. Oh, this is just a pamphlet. Yeah, it's just not much to it. Just a pamphlet. Yeah. The discs just have text on them. There's nothing fancy. So next we have a film by Ang Lee, a Western called Ride with the Devil. With this new director's cut, Ang Lee reconstructs his original vision for Ride with the Devil, a harrowing, unorthodox Civil War epic set during the Kansas-Missouri border war. The film follows Jake, Tobey Maguire, and Jack Ball, Skeet Ulrich, who join the Confederate and sympathizing bushwhackers after Jack Ball's father is killed by abolitionist Jayhawkers, and find an unusual ally in Holt, Jeffrey Wright, who's fighting for the South despite being a former slave. A rumination on identity and loyalty, Ride with the Devil is a provocative challenge to preconceptions about America's bloodiest conflict. New restored high-definition digital transfer of Ang Lee's director's cut, supervised and approved by Lee and director of photography Frederick Elms. 2 audio commentaries, one featuring Lee and producer-screenwriter James Shamus, and one featuring Elms, sound designer Drew Cunnan, and production designer Mark Friedberg. New video interview with star Jeffrey Wright, and a booklet featuring essays by critic Godfrey Cheshire, and Edward E. Leslie, author of The Devil Knows How to Ride, the true story of William Clark Quintrell and his Confederate raiders. So this film was kind of interesting. There's some other people that are in this movie as well, like what's his name? Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, who played Henry VIII on The Tudors, and also has Jewel, the musician. And it has who's the other guy? Oh, it's James Caviezel, who was in Passion of the Christ as Christ, and he was in Thin Red Line for Terrence Malick, and also, it's not listed here, but he's in this. What's his name? He was in Batman Begins. He was in the Bedroom. He was in Girl with the Pearl Earring. He was in The Full Monty. He's an English actor, but he plays an American in this. I can't remember his name, but he's in this movie. I just can't remember what his name is. So, Tom Wilkinson. I think that's his name. If you know the exact name, leave it down there. But I think it's Tom Wilkinson. I haven't watched this film in a while, but kind of interesting movie. I have another film by Ang Lee, maybe a second. I'm not sure if I have a Hulk film. I have a Hulk movie, but I don't know if it is the one that Ang Lee did. I'm not sure on that. I believe I have a Hulk movie. I'm pretty sure on that. But when we get to that, I'll show that to you, and we'll find out if Ang Lee did indeed direct that. But I do have Brokeback Mountain. This is the early 20th century reunion of Quantrill's Raiders, so these are actual Civil War fighters right there. And there's Jeffrey Wright right there. So that's Ride of the Devil. This next one was the inspiration for Psycho. It's called Diabolique. It's directed by Georges Clouzot. An acknowledged influence on Psycho, Henry Georges Clouzot's horror classic is the story of a sadistic headmaster who brutalizes his fragile wife and his headstrong mistress. The two women murder him and dump his body in a swimming pool. When the pool is drained, no corpse is found. Criterion presents Diabolique in a new digital transfer. And I think it's just a movie. But the ending is great. Really great ending. Just a little text essay there. That's about it. This is the older Criterion edition of this movie. There's a newer version out. But I haven't bought that. I bought this one. And so I think we can do some more videos now. We can not do more videos. We can show more Criterions. Next up is a film by Kieslowski, Double Life of Veronique. Krzysztof Kieslowski's international breakthrough remains one of the most beloved films, a ravishing, mysterious rumination on identity, love, and human intuition. Irene Jacob is incandescent as both Veronica, a Polish choir soprano, and her double, Veronique, a French music teacher. Though unknown to each other, the two women share an enigmatic, emotional bond, which Kieslowski details in gorgeous reflections, colors, and movements. Aided by Slobmore's Idzek's shimmering cinematography and Zbigniew's Preschner's haunting operatic score, Kieslowski creates one of cinema's most purely metaphysical works. The Double Life of Veronique is an unforgettable symphony of feeling. Disc 1 has audio commentary featuring Anna Insdorf, author of Double Lives, Second Chances, the Cinema of Krzysztof Kieslowski. She's pretty interesting what she has to say about Kieslowski, not just on this movie, but on the Colors trilogy. I haven't listened to her talk about the Decalogue, but she's on that, I believe, as well. And I think she's on Blind Chance as well. Blind Chance, a friend of mine's borrowing that, so I can't show that to you right now, but when I get it back, I'll be sure to do a video with that and some other films that are being borrowed from people I know. Let's see, where are we? Okay, 3 short documentaries by Kieslowski. Factory, 1970, Hospital, 1976, and Railway Station, 1980. The Musicians, 1958, a short film by Kieslowski's teacher, Kazimierz Karabas. The U.S. Ending. Disc 2 has Kieslowski Dialogue, 1991, a documentary featuring a candid interview with Kieslowski and rare behind-the-scenes footage from the set of The Double Life of Veronique. 1966 to 1988, Kieslowski, Polish direct filmmaker. A 2005 documentary tracing the director's work in Poland from his days as a student through The Double Life of Veronique. new video interviews the cinematographer Slavomir Isiek and composer Zbigniew Kreshner, 2005 interview with actress Irene Jacob, and a booklet featuring an essay by critic Jonathan Romney and selections from Kieslowski and Kieslowski. So, and Irene Jacob, she was in the Colors trilogy. She was in Red with Jean-Louis. I don't know how to say his last name. Trignat. I think he's a great actor because he was in one of my favorite films of all time, which is Conformist by Bertolucci. And he was also in a movie I have not seen called Amour. And the female actress in that movie, some say is had an even better performance that year during the Oscars than Jennifer Silver Linings Playbook. What's her name? Jennifer. She was in the Hunger Games. Jennifer Lawrence. They say that the woman that played alongside Trignat in Amour is she did a much better performance. Not that Jennifer Lawrence's performance was bad in Silver Linings Playbook. It was just some believe that the other woman also in that category really did a much better performance. So this is a pretty interesting movie. I don't know if I think the Colors trilogy is better, and I like Decalogue better. I think maybe even Blind Chance better, but it's still a good movie. And he's got a great composer for his films. You would think that it's like Mozart or something, but it's not. And that's what they said about it on the Colors trilogy and the special features. So now we get to a director basically I'm not fond about. But this is the only Criterion I got that was something like, I don't know, $2, $4. So if you're gonna see a Criterion that's $2 or $4, you might as well buy it, right? And I'm looking forward to watching. Well, I don't know if I'm looking. Well, I'm interested in watching this, but he's not really one of my favorite directors, and I'm not really fond of some of his films, or maybe most of his films. Anyways, it's The Royal Tenenbaums. A film by Wes Anderson, and you can see it's got an all-star cast. It's got Gwyneth Paltrow, it's got Danny Glover, Gene Hackman, Angelica Houston, Ben Stiller, Luke Wilson, Owen Wilson, Bill Murray, who I guess is a fixture in Wes Anderson's movies. You know, I saw what's that movie called? Darjeeling Limited. I just thought it was a preposterous, kind of pretentious, big, I don't know, pretentious is a cliched word, but just a very fake kind of, just very showy kind of display, empty display of trying to be really deep and profound, but basically just being just a stupid movie, you know. Royal Tenenbaum, Gene Hackman, and his wife Ethelyn Angelica Houston had 3 children, Chaz, Margot, and Richie, and then they separated. Chaz, Ben Stiller, started buying real estate in his early teens and seemed to have an almost preternatural understanding of international finance, Margot Gwyneth Paltrow was a playwright and received a Braverman grant of $50,000 in the ninth grade. Richie Luke Wilson was a junior champion tennis player and won the U.S. Nationals 3 years in a row. Virtually all memory of the brilliance of the young Tenenbaums was subsequently erased by 2 decades of betrayal, failure, and disaster. So, the Criterion Collection is proud to present Wes Anderson's hilarious, touching, and brilliantly stylized study of melancholy and redemption. And another thing is the Grand Budapest Hotel. I know it has some stars like Ray Fiennes and some other stars too, I guess. But Adrian Brody, I think, is in it. But I don't know. It's just this big, showy, gaudy, silly, nutty, not very. I can't take it seriously. I know it's supposed to be a comedy, but I just think it's just. I just think it's just stupid, you know. So it's got a new widescreen digital transfer supervised by director Wes Anderson and enhanced for widescreen televisions. Commentary by Wes Anderson with a filmmaker, portraits by Albert Maysles featuring Wes Anderson, exclusive video interviews, and behind-the-scenes footage of Gene Hackman, Angelica Houston, Ben Stiller, Gwyneth Paltrow, Luke Wilson, Owen Wilson, Bill Murray, and Danny Glover. Outtakes, The Peter Bradley Show, featuring interviews with additional cast members. The Art of the Movie, Young Richie's murals and paintings. Still photographs by set photographer James Hamilton. Book and magazine covers. Studio 360 radio segment on painter Miguel Calderon and storyboards. Theatrical trailer. Collectible insert including Eric Anderson's drawings. So, yeah, so let's take a look inside. But I just I think his films are basically dumb. You know, I don't know if that's a very good defense of. I just think they're kind of showy and gaudy and silly, you know, and empty, you know. Like in Darjeeling Limited, they where's this? You know, the train gets stuck someplace, and where's it going? And it's sort of going nowhere, and just all this various existential gobbledygook, you know, that trying to sound profound, but actually drawing attention to itself is the way I view it. But I don't know. We'll see how this. We'll see. I mean, I've been known to watch directors, and well, I don't know if I've been known, but I've watched directors' films, and if you take Ron Howard, for example, I'm not a big fan of his movies, but I do like Cinderella Man. I thought that was a really good movie, but, you know, and I think everybody has films that they don't like by various, I mean, you know, top what are considered top-notch filmmakers by other people. I mean, if we all like the same movies, or if we all hated the same movies, I don't think that'd be very interesting. I think our likes are the things we like a lot, and also the films we don't like a lot, say something about us and add some mixture and add some kind of dimension and viewpoints we wouldn't consider if we didn't have this dialogue about like why you like this and I like that, and you get to see from another viewpoint like why this person doesn't like this or why this person doesn't like that, and we're not all going to share the same opinion about everything. I know Wes Anderson is like praised to death, but I just don't get him. It's like with Tarantino, as I said in my video on Tarantino, I like some of his films and some of his films I don't like, and I think some of his films have way too much dialogue, and a film is supposed to be cinematic. If you use sound in a movie, it should be used, to accentuate the visual. And if I think of a film that has a lot of dialogue or monologue material to it that still works, it would be like a film like Clockwork Orange, because it's great visual um, um, accompaniment to it, and very good audio, sound effects and musical score, and just it's very well done and put together very well. So, anyways, so let's get to the other ones. This video is going to go on a little while longer, not too long. We got 4 more to look at. This one was done on a really low budget. I highly recommend, if you want to buy a film done on low budget, that it's pretty impressive. This is one of those films to me. Last of Silence. It's a film by Alan Barron. Swift, brutal, and black-hearted, Alan Barron's New York City noir, Last of Silence, is a sensational surprise. This low-budget, carefully crafted portrait of a hitman on assignment in Manhattan during Christmas time follows its stripped-down narrative with mechanical precision, yet also with an eye and ear for the oddball details of urban living and the imposing beauty of the city. At once visually ragged and artfully composed, and featuring rough, poetic narration performed by Lionel Stander, Last of Silence is a stylish triumph. It's got Requiem for a Killer, The Making of Last of Silence, rare unset Polaroids, and photos of locations in 2008, and a booklet featuring an essay by film critic Terence Rafferty, and a 4-page graphic novel adaptation of the film by acclaimed artist Sean Phillips, Criminal Sleeper, Marvel's Zombies. This is a really good movie, really enjoyable movie. This film I originally borrowed from the library, and I just borrowed it because, I was trying to pick something to watch. But, it's a Criterion, I'll take a look at it. And I picked it up, I took a look at it, and I looked at the behind-the-scenes stuff, and I was fascinated, I was blown away. This is filmed down this really low budget, and it's really impressive the way I view it, And how he made it, how he tells you how he made it. Pretty impressive. Because he made this film in, what year was it? 1961. And did I say there was a commentary on this? Is there a commentary? There's not a commentary, but they tell you how they make the film. So it's pretty interesting. And it's set in New York City, and just very well thought out and scripted. And I think he storyboarded this too. I think there's storyboards on here. There are photos of locations. Yeah, so consider this if you're considering buying if you want to see a film done on a low budget that has like hitman elements and was done in the 60s, sort of a film noirish film, you might want to consider taking a look at this. This next film had an influence on directors like the guy who directed the Tin Drum. What's his name? Volker Schröndorff. This is a film made by Bernard Wicki. It's called The Bridge. I think it's based on a true story. Bernard Wicki's astonishing The Bridge was the first major anti-war film to come out of Germany after World War II, as well as the nation's first post-war film to be widely shown internationally, even securing an Oscar nomination. Set near the end of the conflict, it follows a group of teenage boys in a small town as they contend with everyday matters like schools, girls, and parents, before enlisting as soldiers and being forced to defend their home turf in a confused, terrifying battle. This expressively shot, emotionally bruising drama dared to humanize young German soldiers at a historically tender moment and proved influential for the coming generation of new German cinema auteurs. So it might have had an influence on Fassbinder as well. I think it did. I'm not sure on that, but if you know, you can, if you know some details, just, let me know. And it's got a new interview with writer Gregor Dorfmeister on whose autobiographical novel the film is based. So I guess it's true. New interview with filmmaker Volker Schorndorf about the film's impact on German cinema. Interview from 1989 with director Bernard Wicki. And it's got an excerpt from a 2007 documentary by Elizabeth Wicki Endress, Wicki's widow, featuring behind-the-scenes footage from the shoot, and an essay by film critic Terence Rafferty. So, impressive movie. Sort of like if you saw the documentary material from World War II, when Hitler, when the Soviets are getting very close to where, and to when they're in Berlin, or they're getting close to Berlin, or they're getting close to where Hitler is. I can't remember if I showed you this. I think I did. And then, anyways, one of the last things Hitler did before he killed himself was there's this film footage of him. He has these boy soldiers, and he's like, maybe he's, like touching their cheek and saying like good luck or whatever. And but that's sort of like in this vein. It's Germany's about to be defeated, and this is the last hurrah, if you will, for the Nazis, and these kids couldn't care less. They don't want to be involved with this, Incidentally, I think Klaus Kinski, who I mentioned in a previous video, he's in my Herzog video. You just see what did I include with Herzog? I can't remember. Herzog it says Herzog on the video if you look, and it's a Herzog box set, and in the box set it's films that feature Klaus Kinski. And anyways, I'm trying to close this up. I'm trying to close the booklet up is what I'm talking about, right? Okay, I got it closed. Anyways, Klaus Kinski, before he was a movie actor and before he was starring in Werner Herzog's movies, I think he was born in Poland, maybe not, or maybe he was born in Germany, but he was a soldier for the Nazis, but a young soldier, and I don't think for long. I believe he fought in World War II as a soldier, but I think he was at the tail end of the war, and he wasn't too enthralled about being, enlisted. So that film, The Bridge, really, touches upon the youth and how they regarded being placed in this time period and in this moment in history. So next up, another film set during World War II. Not sure, but it's a Russian movie, Letter Never Sent. The great Soviet director Mikhail Kalatozov, known for his virtuosic, emotionally gripping films, perhaps never made a more visually astonishing one than Letter Never Sent. This absorbing tale of exploration and survival concerns the four members of a geological expedition who are stranded in the bleak and unforgiving Siberian wilderness while on a mission to find diamonds, luxuriating in wide-angle beauty and featuring one daring shot after another. The brilliant cinematography is by Kalatozov's frequent collaborator Sergei Urzevsky. Letter Never Sent is a fascinating piece of cinematic history and a universal adventure of the highest order. It doesn't really have any special features. It's got a booklet featuring an essay by film scholar Dina Uridanova. So that's kind of a letdown that there's no special features with this. But But I bought this fairly recently, and it's a Blu-ray. This looks good. I guess it's not World War II. I thought it was, but yeah, because it looked like a World War II film on the outside. I think I've heard of this movie. I believe I've heard of it. It's a really good film. Okay, so that's Letter Never Sent. And then to finish it off from all the boxes, and then after that we'll get to my last bookcase of Criterions, and then the Criterions and the Towers, and then after all that we'll go to either the boxes, the bookcase, or the Towers, and we'll go through all of that, and then after that we're finished with all the movies. So this is the last one in the boxes, Watership Down from Martin Rosen, which is based on the Richard Adams book. With his passion project, screenwriter, producer, director Martin Rosen brilliantly achieved what had been thought nearly impossible: a faithful big screen adaptation of Richard Adams' classic British dystopian novel about a community of rabbits under terrible threat from modern forces. With this naturalistic hand-drawn animation, dreamily expressionistic touches, gorgeously bucolic background design, and elegant voice work from such superb English actors as John Hurt, Ralph Richardson, Richard Breers, and Denholm Elliott, Watership Down is an emotionally arresting, dark-toned allegory about freedom amid political turmoil. It's got a new video interview with director Martin Rosen, new interview with filmmaker Guillermo del Toro about the film's importance in animation history, picture-in-picture storyboards for the entire film, defining a style 2005 featurette about the film's aesthetic, trailer, and an essay by comic book writer Gerard Jones. So, Watership Down. So I thought, maybe it's like George Orwell's Animal Farm, which I have read, and I've also read one of my favorite books of all time, 1984, which probably has a lot of importance these days. I've heard that 1984, there's a lot of people are buying copies of that right now. This is just a pamphlet. But anyways, it's just text on the other side here, so that's all it is. So that finishes the Criterions that I have in the boxes. And the next video will feature more Criterions. We'll either go to the tower or go to the remaining ones in the bookcase. When we finish all that, we'll do all the rest of the movies in the boxes, the bookcase, and the towers. And at some point, somewhere, I'll put the Seinfeld, which will be a complete video by its own. And by then, I guess it'll have it all finished off. So thanks for watching, and I appreciate all the views, and hope to see you soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.